What's up, guys? This is another video. If you haven't read the title, this is a review on my new camera that I just bought. This is Antman and the Wasp. We saw it the day it came out, but I'm finally doing the review for it because new camera and all that jazz. So, Antman and the Wasp. If you haven't know what, I guess, if you don't know what Antman and the Wasp is, it's part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's something you've probably heard of. It's a culmination of 10 years of storytelling. Marvel comics like Iron Man, I'm sure you heard of him, Hulk, there's a whole bunch of characters. And this is the sequel to Ant-Man. And this is really, the title really does give you Ant-Man and the Wasp. The movie does give you that. It's still Scott Lang's, movie, but you have more of everything. What can I say about this movie? I think they took everything from the first movie and then kind of built onto it. Obviously, this is not as good as the first one, but the sequel is really fun, really good, and it's a great time. It's a great movie to come after Infinity War, which is a gut-wrenching movie for fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. And this movie just gives you like the more fun aspects of the Marvel Universe while also being serious at the same time. What can you really say about this movie other than it being, Ant-Man and Wasp? There's spoilers in this review, obviously. I'm going to say that one more time. There's going to be spoilers. I'm going to drag on and everything like that. But, anything. This movie starts out and Scott Lang is, like, doing this little mission with his daughter in, like, a cardboard fort. And that was so cute and very fun sequence. And he, you realize he's been on house arrest for 2 years since Civil War. Him and also Hawkeye is on house arrest, if you heard it correctly from Infinity War. We don't see Hawkeye in this movie, but I thought I'd throw that in there. And he's been on house arrest. He's almost done. He has only 3 days left. And the 3 days left, this is when all the shit hits the wall for him, and everything comes sputtling up to the surface for his problems. He's not talking to Hank Pym or Hope Van Dyne, because he decided not to tell them that he was going to help Captain America, and stuff like that, and they kind of are against him at the beginning of this movie, and they're like not really friends anymore. And that's where this movie really kicks off. They need his help. He still has a suit. There's some really funny gags in the movie that I'm not going to spoil. There's one in the trailer that you've seen where he's the short little kid, and that was, by God, one of the funniest scenes in the movie. Not my favorite, not the funniest scene. Yabba Gabba, I think that's how you say it. It's the funniest joke in the movie. That's out of context. It's a great joke, and I want you to watch the movie to get Baba Yaga. That scene is just great. And what can I say? I mean, like the cast is great. It's so much fun. The energy, the things that this movie lacks is in the villain department. In my humble opinion, I think it's great. I think it's a solid movie. These villains, Ghost is probably the main antagonist. But the side villain is like over the top, like I'm a villain, and that's just so much fun to see. In that, like, oh, you have this after having a really great villain in Thanos, you come to this movie and it's like, oh, this is just about the heroes and stuff like that. So that's cool, and everything like that, and just such a lighthearted. Michael Pena kills it again in this movie. He's like, a lot of people want him to have his own movie just because of that character that he's playing, and have that character have his own standalone movie. And the joke from the first movie does come back in this one, and the Stan Lee cameo in this movie was really great. I'm not gonna spoil it, but that's a great cameo. And this is really just like Ant-Man's been about relationships, kind of like building his friends, and this guy who's a criminal is never gonna be like seen as not a criminal. And it's cool just the way his life has changed since Civil War and the problems he has to deal with, and everything has to hit him. There's some really great effects in this movie. And then the abilities of him shrinking down and coming back up, and him and Wasp's moves, where she shrinks and comes back up. It's just like that. The fighting is really, really fun, and seeing all the different ways people fight and the way they trick people, and it's just really fun. The game of cat and mouse with the lab and everything like that. So I mean, it was just so much fun seeing like the way they use the powers in this movie, and the villain's powers, where she phases through reality and stuff like that. She was a very tough opponent. but that's a plot hole that they kind of created, is that she's been around for a long time, being a member or an assassin for hire for Shield, and that's just like one of those things that they're like, what? Where have you been this whole time, and why haven't Shield used you? But I mean, assassin. Maybe she's been on assassin stuff. She's not a hero, obviously. So maybe that's just why they didn't have her do other stuff. But it's kind of a plot hole when people have said it's a plot hole. And I'm like, yeah, it could be a plot hole. But what if she's just an assassin and that's all she does, and that's all they wanted her to do as a pursuing special abilities and stuff like that. So that, but her character was really fun, really cool, and seeing some really great effects in the de-aging of Michelle Pfeiffer and Michael Douglas again in this movie is just phenomenal. Every time Marvel does this, seeing them look younger is just, you got it, Marvel, because it's just a great look and a great feel, and they're really gonna hit this one. Like eventually they're gonna be able to do this like hardcore someday, where they can make like a whole movie with these effects someday, and it's gonna be great because it'll trick your mind sometimes, and the effects of the the quantum realm is just amazing, and the way they pull that off, the way Scott and everybody's just but this is just like a everywhere review. It's not like a full in-depth, like straightforward, like this is what happens, this and this. Really, it's just about like, the story, and I think you should check it out because it's really fun, and like the story's going from here and then you end up in another place. But watch it. It's Antman. It's Antman and the Wasp, and if you wanted more Antman, Evangeline Lilly, great movie. This movie's fun. Now I'm gonna get into this really end credits scene. And this end credit scene is especially spoilers. So if you don't want to know the end credit scene, click away. Again, click away if you don't want to know what the end credit scene is. Now, the end credit scene was something that I expected, but it happened in a different way than I expected. Scott goes into the quantum realm, and he gets stuck there. He's like, guys, and it cuts back, and there's dust. And the three characters that got dusted are Hank Pym, Janet Van Dyne, and Evangeline Lilly's character, Hope, all got dusted. I thought three people were going to get dusted. Wasp, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Scott's daughter. But no. Instead, we don't know if Scott's daughter got dusted. I would assume she didn't, because Scott already lost like half of his freaking, everybody. And just seeing that like Hank and Wasp and Michelle Pfeiffer's characters all got fucking wiped out, I was shocked, because that's not the way I thought it was going to happen. And it gives you that, like, hits you that the dusting is just taking whoever the fuck they want. And that's cool. One problem I've seen a lot of people on YouTube have with this ending, anyway, is this end credit scene, is that why didn't they turn on the TV? Like, why didn't they acknowledge that the aliens were attacking New York at this time? A lot of people say, why are they on top of a roof when they should be, like, going to New York City at the time of the dusting? I see it as, like, well, maybe it was just, like, after sight, but also I think it's just, like, we had this ending, this is what we wanted the ending to be, not this. They didn't want to, oh, Scott, I'm going to help. No, it's just, they're trying to set it up in a way that's like, oh, we're leaving an open book. And I think that's what they did. And then there was a second end credit scene that a lot of people hated, and I laughed at it, but it's in the fucking trailer for Antman and the Wasp, is the ant playing drums. And that was kind of like, why is that the second end credit trailer, and why was it in the the end credit scene, why was it in the fucking trailer? Why would you put that in a trailer? So it wasn't even worth being an end credit scene in the first place. That was dumb. I think they should have done something different with that. I think Michael Pena should have had a fucking end credit scene. That would have been a lot cooler. Like, he was like, oh, he could recap like a little bit of like what he heard happen. Oh, my friend said that these aliens just came down from space in New York City, and Tony Stark was there, and Spider-Man was there, and like that would have been kind of funny. But that's not what they did. So, I mean, what can you do? But, yeah. That's all I'm going to talk about for this video. I'm rambling on, so I want to try to upload this as soon as I can, because I just want to see how this camera looks and what it feels like, and if Mark likes it. But, yeah. What did you like about it? Did you like Ant-Man and the Wasp? Did you not like Ant-Man and the Wasp? Did you like my review? Did you not like my review? Did you not give a fuck? Do you hate Marvel? Let me know in the comments. Why not? As always, flip me off in the comments below if you don't give a fuck. I'm Scotty, Bloodhaven Gaming. We're looking to improve our stuff, so hope you like the camera. See you in another video.